So let me ask you something. Are you feeling burnt out, anxiously overloaded? Maybe like you're just constantly running but never actually crossing the finish line? If that sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. I want you to think of this as a coaching session. We're going to diagnose the real problem here and then build you a whole new playbook for sustainable, high-level performance. Okay? Let's get into it. Okay, so let's kick this off with a pretty wild idea from productivity expert Cal Newport. He basically argues that the one tool we all use to get organized is actually the very thing setting us up to fail. Yeah, that endless to-do list you've got, he says it's not a plan. It's a fantasy. It's just a wish list of all the stuff you hope might get done if you suddenly had, I don't know, a 30-hour day. So I want you to really think about this. What if that list, the one you write every single morning, the thing that's supposed to give you clarity, is actually the source of your anxiety? What if that's the reason you always feel like you're behind? It's time to seriously challenge that core belief. Okay, so let's start digging into the diagnosis. The first thing we've got to talk about is a huge trap that, honestly, almost all of us fall into. See, we've been taught to believe that being busy equals being productive. But you know what? Any real top performer will tell you they are not the same thing, not even close. And that confusion is right at the heart of this whole overwhelm epidemic we're seeing. And Cal Newport has the perfect name for this. He calls it pseudo-productivity. And it's exactly what it sounds like, the illusion of progress. You know the drill. It's firing off emails, jumping from meeting to meeting, having a calendar that's just packed to the gills. It's all this visible activity that makes us feel like we're getting things done, but it's got nothing to do with producing actual valuable work. And here's the real cost, right? This is what it does to you. You end up just anxiously overloaded. There's that constant hum in the back of your mind of all the things you haven't finished. Your attention gets shattered into a million pieces by all the pings and notifications, and it just crushes your cognitive shape. It's kind of like trying to train for a marathon while smoking a pack a day. It leaves you feeling totally squeezed with this nagging feeling that it's just never, ever enough. So the big question is, how do we break out of this cycle? Well, that brings us to our first principle. This is where we start building a brand new foundation. We're going to take that anxiety-inducing wish list and completely transform it into an intentional, realistic daily plan. This, right here, is where you start to take back control. Just look at the difference here. A to-do list, it's all about anxiety and hope. It creates what experts call open loops in your brain. Basically, these are all the unfinished tasks your mind feels like it has to constantly juggle, and that just drains your mental battery. But a daily plan? That's totally different. It's a real commitment based on the reality of time. And the relief you get is huge because you've told your brain, hey, don't worry, every single one of these tasks has a place to live. And the fix is actually super simple. You just take your list and you assign every single item to a specific block of time on your calendar. That's it. But this simple act does two revolutionary things. First, it forces you to get real about how long things actually take. No more wishful thinking. And second, it gives your brain permission to stop worrying about a task until it's actually time to do it. Game changer. All right, so we've got a plan for our time. Now we have to protect that time. And that leads us to principle number 2, which is all about ruthlessly, and I mean ruthlessly, cutting down the number of things you're trying to juggle at once. I know it sounds completely backward, but trust me, working on less is the absolute key to accomplishing more. And I love this quote from Justin Sung because it just nails it. Think about the most effective, most productive people you know. They aren't superhuman, right? They don't have fewer things to do than you do. The difference is they've become masters of saying no, or at least not right now. They are choosing to do less stuff at any given time, and that's precisely what allows them to make huge, meaningful leaps forward. And here's the science behind why this works so well. Every single project you add to your plate brings with it what Newport calls administrative overhead. You know what I'm talking about. Every new project means more meetings, more emails, more Slack messages, more just checking in conversations. And as you pile on the projects, this overhead just snowballs until it completely eats your day, leaving you with these tiny little scraps of time to do the actual work. So when you focus on just one major project, you slash that overhead and you get your day back. Okay, so we've planned our day, we've protected our focus. What's next? The final piece of the puzzle is building the mental muscle to actually execute. I want you to get this. Focus is not some trait you're born with. It's a skill, it's a muscle. And just like any other muscle, you can train it to be stronger. And this right here, this number is our target, 90. 90 minutes of pure, uninterrupted, 100% focus on a single task. I know, that might sound totally impossible right now, but getting there is the key to producing absolutely top-tier work. And guess what? There's a biological reason why this number is so important. Yeah, so it turns out, according to research from guys like neuroscientist Andrew Huberman, our brains are naturally wired to work in these 90-minute cycles. They go from high alertness to low alertness all day long. They're called ultradian cycles. And the whole idea here is instead of fighting against that natural rhythm with constant distractions, we're going to learn to work with it. We're going to harness that 90-minute peak for some seriously deep, productive work. So how do we actually build up that focus muscle? Simple. We're going to do interval training, but for your brain. And you start small, like really small. Just set a timer for 20 minutes. Here's the only rule. The second your mind wanders, you check your phone, you open a new tab, you have to restart the timer. It's going to be tough at first, for sure, but just practice that for a couple of weeks. Once 20 minutes feels pretty easy, bump it up by 10 minutes. You just keep repeating that process, and I promise, before you know it, you'll be able to lock in for a full 90-minute session. All right, let's put all the pieces together now. Because these 3 principles, they aren't just a random collection of tips. They actually form a complete, sustainable operating system for how you approach your work and really your life. Step 1. You ditch the wish lists. Instead, you create a realistic, time-blocked plan for your day. That's your foundation. That's where you get control back. Step 2. You commit to doing less. You pick one major project to focus on at a time. This absolutely slashes all that administrative chaos and frees you up to make real progress on what matters. And step 3, you train your focus like an athlete. You build up to those powerful 90-minute deep work sessions that work with your brain's natural rhythm so you can produce stuff that's truly exceptional. And I really want to leave you with this one thought. If you've been feeling scattered and overwhelmed and unproductive, please hear me on this. It is not a character flaw. You are not lazy. You've just been unarmed. You've been trying to fight a modern battle with old, broken tools. But now you have a whole new arsenal. So there's really only one question left. I want you to look at everything on your plate right now. What is the one thing, the one project, the one task that you're going to give your complete, undivided attention to next? Don't overthink it. Just pick one. Start there. Apply these principles to that one thing, and that's how you begin building your new system for truly sustainable performance.